Good afternoon, Flosstube. My name is Mandy. Welcome to my channel, all about cross stitch. We are in quite a different angle this time than usual. I put up my Christmas tree last night and I thought it would be fun and festive to be able to... I was hoping she would come back by. She's probably gonna fight me. I thought it'd be fun to sit in front of the tree and be festive. Yeah, I didn't even have to say anything and she says hi. Say hi. We're gonna let her go because she doesn't like being held, as you know. Anyways, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, that little one was Stitches. She's a goofball. I love her to pieces. Normally I sit on my couch where she loves to run across the back of it. But like I said, today I decided to get a little festive and sit in front of my Christmas tree. This is take number, I don't even know how many. Basically take number 2. Other ones didn't count because I just stumbled over saying hi. I was into explaining about different ornaments when I realized that I completely forgot my notebook and needed it for some information. But yes, this is my tree. I love ornaments, like having different style ornaments, and a number of these are gifts. I stitched that one. This one was a very special gift from Laura, Stitching by the Shore. She sent that to me last year. This one is Little Miss Stitches in an ornament bulb. That one is a stitched piece. I did that in an ornament exchange in like 2011. I don't even remember who it was that stitched it. Everyone, I think, recognizes the piece though. It was in a magazine or something back then. It's adorable. Let's see if I can put this back on here without dropping it. So, yes, all sorts of fun stuff. And I was talking about, you can see a little stocking right up there. I'm gonna move the camera just slightly so that, try to see it. If you can see up at the very top of it, there's a band that is stitched. It is my name. In the corners there are little holly berries. My mom stitched that back. It was my childhood stocking, so she would have done it probably mid to late 80s, maybe early 90s. My sister has a red one that has peppermints on it, candy canes. So I hope everyone has had a great few weeks. This month has completely flown by. I don't know that I even said, but today is Thursday, November 30th. Those in the States, I hope you had a wonderful holiday. It was filled with food and hanging out with family, as those kind of holidays tend to be. It's about being thankful for me, it's about being thankful for the family that I have and getting to spend the time with them. I was at my sister's pretty much the entire weekend from Wednesday. I did go home Thursday night, back again midday Friday. It was a busy weekend, so I had a few days off of work, but it went by in the blink of an eye. I was joking that I had to come home to relax. I had to come home, go back to work just to be able to relax. So, yeah. It's been a busy few weeks since I filmed last. I knew like my normal scheduling of every other like Thursday, Friday, put it during Thanksgiving, so I knew I wasn't gonna be home. I might have been able to have time Friday morning to film. I just was enjoying being relaxed at home, stitching for a few hours. I got to hop onto Michelle Bendy's charity sale that she was doing. Got some fun stuff. I'll show those when I get them. Who knows when that'll be, and that's fine. Yeah, before I dive into sharing my stitching, and I was wanting to have the patterns here to show, but I forgot, so we're just gonna go with it. I had a giveaway in my last video. Thank you to everyone so much for your very sweet and kind words. Last video was my 100th Flosstube, and so I had lots of people congrats and sending me love and all the appreciation of the videos that I share. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate each and every one of you. So the giveaways for the it was the Meow the Merrier top knot sunflower cat. That is going to Amy Swihart. Congratulations. I already have your mailing address since you won on a previous one. Congrats again. So I'll get that mailed out to you. I'm really not sure when that's going to happen, but it will be coming to you. For the mason jars, it was I think hands-on design. I know the keyword was mason. I'm gonna give out the screen name because I just went through all of the comments, and so I got the YouTube now how it does the @ and whatever you select kind of thing. So we'll spell it out here for you because I don't know exactly if we're looking at a full last name, if it's an initial or how it is. So Ethel Whedon, W-E-D-A-N. So I don't know if that's Ethel W. Eden or Whedon. I apologize. And then the number is 3237. That is the hands-on design mason chart. You won that. I do need your address, please. You can send me an instant message DM on Instagram, stitchingbee82. You can drop me an email at my Gmail, stitchingbee82@gmail.com. Give me your mailing address, please. Remember that is a US only, so as long as you live in the US, I will get that sent out to you as well. And then for the mini Haid, so the chances of winning either the sunflower cat or the mason jars, you had some pretty good chances because I only had a few giveaway people enter for those. But for the Haid, I had 20 people enter for that. So the winner of that is Ellen R2512. If you would please drop me an email with your selected mini Haid chart, as long as it's a mini. You can send me an email at stitchingbee82@gmail.com, and that is BEE, so stitching bee like a buzz, stitchingbee82@gmail.com, so that use the email that you want me to send that chart to. Let me know what your selection is, and I will get that to you as soon as I can. Yeah, so congrats, Amy, Ethel, and Ellen. You are our winners. That was fun. That was exciting. I went through last night and got all the names together and all that good stuff. So it was exciting to see all the people. So, moving on here, I received my artist trading cards. These were from a swap posted by Laura, Stitching by the Shore, in her ATC. In previous videos, I shared the ones that I made and sent on, and so these are the ones that I received in exchange. So we've got this beautiful little coffee, and this one is stitched by Kathy. She did not give a name to it, so I don't know what chart it's from or anything, but that is beautiful. And make sure I hold this one up right. And this one was from Kay. So thank you to those ladies. I have no clue if they watch my channel or not, but these were so cool. I've had them sitting at my desk here at home while working, so I just had them kind of propped up on my desk, so I got to enjoy them sitting there. I have no clue how I'm gonna finish the get a binder or anything. I don't. Those were my first two artist trading cards that I have received. So yeah. If you want to join in on one of those as well, keep an eye on Laura Stitching by the Shore's channel. She is getting ready to host another one for the winter. She mentioned in her last Flosstube, she is going to be doing some Flossmas videos, and in one of those videos, she is going to be releasing all of the details. So stay tuned there. Alrighty, so I have a start and a finish. I did this in 2 days, not even, because I started this Tuesday night. I probably could have stayed up stitching it, but I was tired, so I went to bed and then finished it last night. I recently joined Patreon of Deanna, Darling and Whimsy, and she released the a November gift chart on Tuesday. It was an immediate, I gotta stitch that and start it. And so I did, and then I finished it. So I converted it all to silks. So I've got a Treenway. This is in Dracula, well, Count Dracula. And then I've got two Bestitch Me's. This is in Eldorus. We've got a Bering Sea, beautiful colors. And we've got a Fangirl Fibers in, I don't think this was in a Creepy Alice box that I did sometime. So it's kind of a variegated gray. I don't have the cover picture or anything like that because it's finished. So I did keep to the color schemes that Deanna had charted it in. I just went through my stash and picked out socks. I was gonna see if another color called to me for the coffee mug, but I just decided to keep with the color theme. So it says stay cozy. So you can see the book. The lighter blue is the binding of the book, the words, the steam. So thank you so much to Deanna for the beautiful chart. This is stitched on a piece of 16 count Picture This Plus in Storm. It's got other projects already stitched on it that I have shown before. This was a witchy stitcher. A stitcher haunts here. Those glow in the ghosts glow in the dark. And then this was a Wild Violet, right? Wild Violet. Sign up for their newsletter, and every so often there's gift charts. And so this was stitched, I don't know, I want to say I stitched it last summer or so. So you've seen it before if you've watched. So this was a good piece of material to just go on ahead, and I'll eventually FFO these in some way, but so I'm planning on cutting those off of like these two. That's why they're spaced weird. So that is my start and finish. So my next piece is a finish for now. I had this all ready for something else and now I need it, so bear with me. I really hope that noise isn't all that loud. I can tell another unit has a carpet cleaner, you know, the van with the really loud noise, so I really hope that's not being picked up too much on the video. If it is, I really apologize. So my finish for now is Halloween Quaker, Leela Studio. If I come in, you can see red lines around the different areas. If you haven't seen before, this is a piece that I decided to follow in the footsteps of some other people who are dividing a piece up in, I don't want to say even pieces, but dividing something up into manageable portions to do monthly to try to get it done by a certain time. This piece I have been able to figure out that if I stick with my little portion each month, then I should have it finished in July of 2024. So this month I did the owl, that little purple doodad, and the candy corn doodad. And I can't even see. I can see through the material that you can see it all. This is stitched on a, it's really awkward sitting here versus on my couch where I could easily say, here you go. This is stitched. I keep biting my tongue today. I had to make a couple of phone calls for work and I just kept biting my tongue. Anyways, here's the whole piece. This is stitched on a piece of 16 count Picture This Plus in the color J. And that is just J-A-Y. And to bring in closer to what I worked on, so I did the little purple doodad, I did the owl, and I did this. This was done in, I think, like 3 stitching sessions. I know I picked it up the night of the last time I filmed, and then I think it took me a couple other times to work on it, but it looks so good. So I'm definitely over halfway. And so eventually, this will get in. I love this piece. Alrighty. And the next piece. This is from a magazine. I showed it last time that I was going to be starting a strand a day to try to get some progress on this piece. This thing has been lingering since 2017. It sat untouched for I don't even know how long. And I've seen other people do strand a day. I know, was it strand a day September that stitching that he did, and I know other people have done it. Things didn't work out when it was kind of that hashtag month or whatever, so I did it for the month of November. And so I'm so happy with the process I've gotten so far. So we are talking about Bergamo borders. This was in the 2017, let's see, August 2017, just cross stitch. Cover looks like that. I get confused on how to say the designer name every time. Banu Demirel from Siba Designs, and I got that band finished. It was so exciting. I'm not gonna stitch on this today, most likely. I think I'm probably gonna move on pieces, but I'm so happy with the progress that I made. So here is my starting place on November 1st. So I had half that band, almost half that band black done, and then now I have, let's see, get back to where I wanted to show. Taking the idea to use a screenshot from last video, here is where I was at when you saw it last. And like I said, we got that band done. This band took a lot of work. Oh, hello. Needle minders all stuck together. Here we go. It went down at one point because I still had black on the needle, and I'm like, I'm not gonna cut it off just to have to restart again. So I just finished out what thread I had that day. But yeah, I have been posting this in my stories just about every single day. Well, any day that I work on it for the most part. Over the Thanksgiving holiday when I was at my sister's, I worked on it. This was the piece that I took for evenings when we were just ready to sit down and hang out for a little while. So there were some days that I did more than just one strand a day. I don't think I touched this at all on Thanksgiving. So strand a day-ish. But yesterday I did more than one strand because I was ready to just finish out the band. I just had a few spots over here of the blue that I'm like, I was ready to be done with the band. So yeah, it looks so good. So very happy to get some progress made. Stitches is behind me somewhere, but I don't know where. Very happy to get some progress made on that piece. I am thinking maybe for the month of December, switching it up to a piece that I have not worked on at all this year. I need to get this thing done. I don't know why it's still lingering, but it is forbidden fiber called Fight Like a Girl. This is the piece. The statement on it is, some women are lost in the fire, some women are built from it. And I had purchased this as kind of a mystery box piece back in, I received it May of 2021, and just after I received this, I started going through some what turned out to be pretty bigger health issues. If you've been in here, you've heard the whole story. Surgery and hospital stay and all of that kind of stuff. So went through some tough times for it was a drawn out 9-month recovery process. And so yeah, this piece just really meant a lot to me to start at that time. So, but it's been lingering. I don't even remember the last time that I stitched on it. Here we are. I have the entire box all the way around done. I think if I remember right, width-wise, it's short 1 stitch. Not gonna be a problem. I just remember having to do some frogging and fixing. So I think if I remember right, where my mistake is at is 1 stitch, and not gonna be an issue. There's plenty of space around it. So I am really working on that flame. So I think with the way, pattern with me, I think that's gonna work out pretty well to do kind of a strand a day thing. This is stitched on a piece of, it's probably 14 count rose petal. It is a Forbidden Fiber Co. dyed. The flosses are all Forbidden Fiber. It was a whole kit, basically. This is not the needle minder that came with it, but it fits it quite perfectly. It says fight like a girl. So I'm thinking, we'll see. Because otherwise I'm not sure how this, the piece means a lot to me. I'm not ready to UFO it yet. But I want to see some movement on it. So I'm kind of thinking that, you know, a strand a day-ish may help see this one to a finish. So we'll see. All right, moving on. I got a new start. I told you last time that it was going to be started, so this will come as no surprise to anybody who has watched previously. I feel like the picture's either my screenshot is bad or it's just not focusing. This looks kind of blurry, but I know it's not quite that bad. I think it's just my screenshot. Mini haunted house. See, it looks good there, so I think in front of me it just looks a little more blurry than I thought it was. Mini stitching out, mini haunted house. I'm gonna keep an eye on it. Artwork is Donna Gelsinger, charted by Heaven and Earth. I fell in love with this piece when it came out to begin with, and I was so excited to see that someone had requested it as a mini. I jumped on it as soon as I was able to. I remember the material was on order last time that I was filming, so the day that it got delivered, which was a day earlier than I was expecting to, I remember it was a Sunday. I don't remember what day that I started it. It was a Sunday. I have since worked on this quite a good bit. I know last night I was working on it. I was right around 1900 stitches, give or take. It was like 2-point-something%. Here we go. I love the detail that you can see coming out already. It's definitely going to be smaller than the original version. Other people that I'm seeing stitching on it, you know, the regular version, that leaf right in that corner is a lot bigger on the regular piece, but you know what? The regular size piece is really big, which was why I wanted the mini, because I don't have the wall space for something as big as the original was. So I was so happy that it came out in medium. It looks like a hot mess at the moment, but great thing about Pattern Keeper for my stitching style is that I can select a symbol. It highlights you know, every stitch within the area I'm working on, and I stitch until the thread runs out, and then if I still have more stitches, I rethread a needle. I don't stick, obviously you can tell, I don't stick by 10 by 10 blocks. I'm not even sticking by page breaks because that is definitely going into page 2. I stitch where I see the symbols at, and I you know, kind of attack confetti. I go back and forth. Sometimes I'm in the mood to really focus on the confetti, so I'll spend my stitching time just really focusing on an area where, you know, I can, like, you know, over here where I can really start filling stuff in. So I may not, you know, if it's confetti stuff, I may not bounce around a whole lot. I may really just focus on a smaller area. Whereas other times I really don't want to do all the bouncing around, so I'll pick a color that has a lot of the shades around it. So I knew Stitches was around. I see she's getting a drink of water. So yeah, that's why it kind of looks like stitching ADD or something with all that empty, but I promise you it eventually gets filled in, just one stitch at a time. I see a lot of comments of you know, in the different Facebook groups of, you know, how do you manage stitching all these big pieces and all of that kind of stuff? And it's best advice, one stitch at a time. You're gonna need to find the stitching method that works for you. I totally get that gridded fabric and, you know, stitching by the 10 by 10 blocks or 20 by 20 depending on your fabric, you know, works for some people. I totally get it. For me, I don't need the grids. You see all of my full coverage. I don't grid at all. I totally understand the positive aspects out of it. To me, my stitching style, I tend to not need it, especially now with Pattern Keeper. I don't jump, you know. If I'm working on this brown right here and it's all the way down here, I'm not going to count to get down to this big open spot. I'm going to fill in and work my way down. So, hey, everybody has their own stitching style, so find one that works for you. If you try something and you don't like the way that it works out, try something else. There's all kinds of YouTube tutorials out there. There's enough of us stitchers that have our own methods, so you know, watch how other people are stitching, find one that works for you. So one stitch at a time, that's all I can advise for these big pieces. I love my full coverage stitching. I am thinking of next year doing a full coverage focus. I'm liking the idea that Jessie Marie mentioned, doing 24 full coverage page finishes in 2024. This year, so far, at this time, I have completed 14 page finishes. That's smaller, you know, how, especially like on a mini, I finished a mini, and so there's partial pages. So in, you know, review of actual physical pattern pages, the way they're printed out, I've basically done 14 page finishes, so it would definitely be a stretch to have to go up to 24, but it's a goal that I would like to push for because I've got plenty of full coverage projects. I was looking at my WIP list the other day. I started the year with 5 full coverages. I now have 11. So that shows you that I started 6 this year alone. I ain't mad about it because I love my full coverage stitching. I remember years ago, I was ordering supplies for a fractal, if you know what those are. Big full coverage piece. If you go back a number of videos, you can see one over my shoulder when I'm not on the couch. There's been times that I've sat where I've got one on the wall. It's too hard for me to show it right now, but I remember getting the supplies ordered from the owner of Stitches and Things that used to be in Fenton. I was getting the material from her and pattern and all of that. That would have been like 2014, maybe 15, and she says she would go running for the hills if she were to have to stitch a full coverage. And her stitching is beautiful. I follow her on Facebook, and the stuff that she works on is absolutely beautiful. But to her, full coverage would be a chore. So, you know, the amazing thing about this craft is that there's something out there for everybody. You just got to do some research to find what that could be. Moving on, I don't know how I ended up on that tangent. Mini Which Way is the next piece to share. Artwork by Molly Anderson. One of these days I'm going to remember that without questioning myself. I adore this piece. So even though I started my stitches, what are you doing? Making sure she wasn't messing with the tree. Even though I started on my haunted house, I still did not put this piece down. If you've been with me for a while, you know that this has been a piece that has been completely an obsession, and it's continued. Oh my gosh. So, all I can say, still talking about full coverage stitching, trust the patterns and take a step away. If you're looking at a piece right in front of you while you're stitching on it, take a step back, take a breath, and look again. Because I just noticed her face is coming in. Why I kind of got my breath taken away for a minute there. This entire portion, like that, her full side of her cheek is just solid white. I'm talking 3865 or the, you know, plain blank white. Blanc, I guess it is. So it's just a solid white. And honestly, even zooming in right here, that just It is a mini, so, you know, of course there's going to be detail loss. So even zooming in doesn't look all that great. Stitching on it, it's like, man, that patch of white, just pure white skin. We're not even talking Caucasian. We're talking straight up Casper. You pull it back here, and I can just see the detail already coming in. It takes a step back. And yes, Casper the Ghost. Pure white. It amazes me, and this is why I love full coverage so much, is that you can take, what is this, 89 colors worth, 90 colors, and just pull out the detail. It's just amazing. Like, so this is really a bunch of solid black stitching, but there's enough countering it that you can actually kind of see her hair is kind of flowing backwards a little bit. It's amazing. Absolutely adore full coverage stitching. I don't see myself putting this kind of project down anytime soon. I love it. So that's my mini Which Way. So I am thinking about next year, as everyone seems to be this time of year. Full Coverage Fanatics is doing, you know, they've got their challenges set for next year, for the most part, I think. And one of them is Focus on a Finish. And so I've been going through my, you know, projects, trying to figure out, is there one that I could, you know, conceivably see working on straight to a finish? Not in terms of stitching on nothing else until it's done, but if you were with me at the beginning of the year, you know that that is pretty much what I did. I got completely hooked into working on my mini stitching moon, Amy Stewart. That was the hate finish that I did this year, and I got completely obsessed with it. I started the year at 41%. I don't remember what the number was now. I feel like it was 41 because I feel like I said that I finished 59% this year. So yeah, I finished 59% of a Heaven and Earth design this year. So anything is possible next year that I could just completely pick up a project and stitch on it straight until it's finished. But not necessarily my intention at this time. So I've been kind of bouncing around which pieces I'm thinking I want to do that with. And even though I'm completely obsessed with this piece, I don't know that that's going to be my focus to a finish. I don't even remember what percentage I'm at on that one. So I was kind of debating it between Anne Stokes' Midnight Messenger or Carol Cavallaris' Dark Goddess. Both mini versions. Those two are the closest. First of all, they're the furthest along, but they're also within just a couple percentage points of each other. So Midnight Messenger is the furthest along, but Dark Goddess is the oldest full coverage. So that's why I'm actually leaning towards Dark Goddess as being my focus on a finish. So I'm sure at least somebody will be excited to see that one be in a focus piece, because that means that it should be seen quite often. So I know every time I share it, a couple people speak up, and or when it's been a while since it's been shown, there's requests of, hey, can we see Dark Goddess anytime soon? So both of which have happened. So that's my intent that I'm thinking of. I am very much a stitch what you want when you want. I did end up joining the Facebook group Whip Warriors. I know a lot of people are talking about it right now. I did end up joining it. I most definitely jumped on the Swee category. I like the idea of being able to start things when something catches my eye and I want to get it started. Yeah, so I definitely went that route. There are definitely projects that I really want to focus on. Like I said, I'm thinking I want to do the 24 page finishes. That Facebook group considers a general page finish being 8,000 stitches. So because I think I saw somewhere that something was asked about not everyone stitches by pages, not every Designer has equal size pages, so like what is their stance on it. And I know I saw somewhere something mentioned 8,000 stitches, so which that's good to know, because there's, you know, I don't necessarily stick by the page breaks anymore. So I have no haul. I was thinking I had a couple of digital patterns that I purchased, but I'm pretty sure that I've shared those. I hope. I did place an order with Bestitch Me for some ready to ship fabrics, but I think she had a pretty big sale for Black Friday, so I'm sure she's working through that. So I haven't received a shipping notification on that yet, but hopefully I'll get that soon. One particular fabric that I bought for the specifically that I went there for was a 14 count Ada. I wanted something that was not just stark white. The gals that I stitched with for the First Most Magnificent Ink Circles Round Robin, we're sticking as a foursome, and we are each selecting Carolyn Manning designs and just doing our own thing. And so we're gonna do another round robin of our own. And so I've picked out my design. Oh, that was the pattern that I did buy. I don't have it handy to, I knew there was something that I had. I don't have that pattern handy. You'll see it when I get started. I know it's a full coverage, but I didn't want to just stitch on dark plain white fabric. And I didn't want to deal with trying to figure out how to dye something myself. So I bought a piece. It'll be perfect for it. So I've got that hopefully coming soon. I know my fabric of the month is en route to me. I don't know necessarily if it's out for delivery and the mail just hasn't gotten here today. I'll share it next time. I was looking ahead for the month for December in terms of kind of film schedule. I'm really liking the sticking on every other week. I think that gives me plenty to share. Every week is just too much. Sometimes I stick on one piece, so it'd be a 5-minute check-in. Here's my which way. Here's how much progress I made this week. So every other week, I think, in my opinion, you know, it's working well for my schedule and my stitching habits now. So I think I may film again in 2 weeks, just a regular Flosstube. And then I am off work for the rest of the year as of December 20th. So I'm probably thinking the week, I'm going to say reasonably the week after Christmas, before New Year's. One day that week, maybe not even waiting until Thursday, Friday, but one day that week after Christmas, I want to film a whip parade. I love filming whip parades. You get to see everything that I'm working on, you know. But I imagine I'll probably film one more regular Flosstube. I don't think I'm going to skip a whole month again. It was just holiday weekend was just going to be way too much. So I'm at this point, unless anything else comes up, as of right now, I am thinking that I'll film one more and then I'll do my whip parade at year end, like 90% of other Flosstubes do. So I'm looking forward to Flosstube videos starting. I'm not filming anything. I did buy myself a little advent. It's just a little stationery thing. Figured get stuff for scrapbook, journal stuff, stitching. I don't even know what I'm going to do with, I don't even know what else in it. But not enough to make it worth filming daily videos at this point. So, it was a total spur of the moment, little box, so not much. But for now, we're going to keep stitching. I'm on my lunch break right now. That is almost over. I might have just enough time to go and make myself a sandwich, get back to work. I've got a lot of work to do, but makes the days go by fast at this point, right? So I hope you're getting lots of stitching time in. Let me know what you're working on. Would love to hear it. Keep stitching. Stitch what brings you joy, and we'll talk to you again next time. Bye, everyone.